So, a lot of people want to know what it's like to be an ARMY. Well, it's pretty simple. It's amazing. We have fun, we talk to each other, we find people to connect with. It's an amazing experience. We are a part of a community that supports a great band, and there's really nothing more complicated about it than that. What is interesting is that everyone's journey is different. No one person experienced the same thing as another person. That's a really good thing because most of the time, it makes a better community, right? Having diversity of thought. But there is one thing that most of us have in common, and that's that we all started in the same place as ARMY. We all just want to support BTS. With streaming and buying and voting, we want to contribute to their success and not be passive consumers. However, as ARMY, most of us quickly discover the same issue. And that is, there's a lot of information out there. And that information at times makes it really hard to figure out what we're supposed to do. Now, the more people talking about BTS, the better, but it does create a sense of information overload. And information overload can be a problem. It is a real thing. It basically means you're getting so much information that it prevents you from taking any type of action. You basically do nothing. That's what information overload does. It causes you to freeze and feel like giving up. You don't feel like giving up because you don't want to do anything. It's just that you become way too stressed out about making a possible wrong or bad decision. And when I say you, I mean all of us. We become too stressed out about making a bad decision. It's kind of like when we try to buy merch and we all hit the system at once and it crashes Weverse. It's simply too much data hitting the system, so it does nothing. It stops working. It freezes. And our brains react the same way when they are bombarded with too much information. So the question is how to avoid that overload. How do we find a place where we can have a balanced experience and eventually realize that no matter what decision we make, any decision is a good decision. It's a good choice as long as we are supporting BTS. But we have to realize that that's a possibility. And in order to do that, you have to take control of your own situation and space. And understand that information and directions and tips and tricks, they're all flying at you at once, but you have to find that balance with your daily life or it just gets to be too much. Because being ARMY is important, but also managing being ARMY within all the other things that you have to do every day, that's just as important. So you want to ask yourself, how can you take control of your situation and space and find your balance? Let's talk about that and talk about an approach that you can use to maybe help you manage your space a little bit and avoid the stress. Have you ever heard of the S.T.R.E.A.M Approach? Probably not, because I just created it for this video. So the S.T.R.E.A.M Approach isn't about creating playlists. It's about getting to know yourself as an active ARMY supporting BTS. It starts with your situation. Know your streaming situation and the space that you have. And this isn't physical space necessarily, it's more of your mental space, right? And you want to create a safe space. You want to figure out what is your specific conditions. Do you work? Do you go to school? Do you have kids? Do you not? It's just really important to know those details so that you can filter out what doesn't apply to you. Next, you want to know ahead of time how much time you actually have to give to support. Like, what is your schedule like? Set your own boundaries. No one else can or should do that for you. And this is the same principle with resources. Like, what's your support budget? How many accounts do you have? How many devices do you have? And yes, time is a resource as well. So there's no single piece of information shared with you that should override your specific resource boundaries. It also helps you enjoy your experience more. Like, knowing these things about yourself helps you enjoy your experience as ARMY. ARMY is a fun community. BTS is a fun group. We all should enjoy whatever we're doing within the community, but sometimes that massive flow of information prohibits us from doing that. So make enjoyment a priority. Like, being aware of your needs helps you filter out information that's coming at you. And then next, you want to ask questions. This is really important. Be engaged, be proactive. It's important to filter and clarify, and you do that by asking questions. Don't stay confused about something. Confusion contributes to information overload. And finally, maintain your space. Guys, figure out your needs and then use your needs as a filter for all of the information coming at you. ARMY is a community whose purpose is to support BTS. That's very important. We can't do that without sharing information, so the information will be there as it should be. But each of us is responsible for maintaining our own space. And we are responsible for keeping it stress-free. No one else does that for you. But if you work on being stress-free, you can maintain your level of activity as an ARMY. And that's very important, because if you are stressed out or anxious about something, it's really hard to stay active. You usually are going to just move on and try to do something else. So understand your space, be willing to make adjustments as you need to, and it will definitely improve your longevity. Once you do that, you realize that all the choices you can make all lead to success for BTS and for your experience as ARMY. There are no bad choices as long as you're willing and actively supporting. So use the S.T.R.E.A.M approach to help you reflect on your situation and needs as ARMY. There is a link in the description of this video to a printable that you can use to help you self-reflect on the S.T.R.E.A.M approach and how you can use it to work for you. And remember, make adjustments. This is unique to you. This is just kind of like a guide to help you self-reflect on some of these topics. Use it to know and set your boundaries. And if you know this information, that helps you filter out all of the other information that's coming at you, and it helps you reduce your stress, which, as I said before, helps improve your longevity of your active support. And it also helps your enjoyment within the community. So keep that in mind and understand that we have to enjoy our community, because that's what we will have to rely on till 2025 and beyond.